Asia has long been on the surfer's map when it comes to finding epic waves. From Indonesia's machine-like barrels, to the Philippines' remote coral reefs, to even a decent sandbar in Japan on its day. Collectively, the Far East has the best surf in the world. However, being surfed and photographed consistently for the last 40 years, these spots have become widely known. And when you show up to one of these perfect waves and 50 of your best friends are already there, to me the sense of adventure and discovery is left lacking. It's this dilemma that's inspired Shannon and I to be more creative, take some calculated risks, and go somewhere that's not known for surf at all. At least we'd have it to ourselves. And surprisingly, there are still places on the planet, in this case, Asia, that have amazing waves with hardly a soul to ride them, which brought us to the seldom visited country of Korea. Historically dubbed the Hermit Kingdom by surrounding nations, we were unable to explore North Korea because of their strict communist ideals, where they believe keeping foreigners out and Koreans in the best policy. And most of its citizens have no idea of the outside world other than what their government tells them. South Korea, on the other hand, has opened its doors cautiously to the world and were more than welcoming to a couple of curious surfers. Most just wondered why we were there. And after we made it to the coast and saw the stormy, polluted surf, we did too.
Day one, and there's already some surf. Japan's off the coast here, and we have a typhoon that's hitting Japan. It's pretty big. And all those winds are sweeping over, creating a little wind swell for us here. I'm probably gonna surf today.
By the local police officers here in Korea. It looks like the waves are a little too dangerous for them out there.
That is the dirtiest, nastiest session I've ever had, but it was fun.
I think I'm losing my eyesight. There's some kind of detergent in the water. We were going fishing. We were going fishing, but I couldn't catch him with my hands. They're really slippery.
I got him to crawl inside the jar.
What?
Is that in your hair?
Yeah.
Shut up.
That's in my hair, dude.
Shut up. Whoa, he's ready to bite.
I had like this most slippery board, like there was palm olive all over it.
That board was slippery.
and then you had this kelp chunks that you were just smacking in. And then I'm watching Matt just go, oh, boost, boost.
I wasn't landing anything though.
Anyway.
So far, the waves weren't quite what we were hoping for, but we knew Korea had more to offer than scary insects and piles of kelp. All we needed was someone to show us around so we would know where to go when the real waves arrived. We met up with supersized Korean-American Derek Soong, who is the unofficial diplomat of surfing in Korea. Derek, along with his girlfriend Yuna, and around 40 other Koreans make up the entire surfing contingent in the country, and they all know each other. Growing up surfing in Los Angeles, Derek has experienced the best and worst parts of an established surf culture, and has concern for Korea's future surfers, that they learn the best parts and leave out the other bits, like localism, greediness, and bad vibes.
Well, surfing kind of started in roughly early 2000. And it started with a lot of kids going abroad, like in Australia, Japan, the States, and they just picked up surfing there, and then they brought their boards back here and realized, hey, you know, we could surf in our home country.
크지도 않고 작지도 않고 그냥 중간 정도의 그런 파도였습니다.
그냥 좋아요. 바다에 나오면 그냥 좋고 사람들이 좋고 그래서 서핑합니다. 바구스.
굉장히 좋아요. 왜냐면 우리가 그러니까 잘 타는 사람들이 옆에서 타주고 그러면 이렇게 보는 것도 있고 그 경험을 우리가 쌀 수 있잖아요. 그런 잘 타는 사람들을 보려면 해외에 나가야 되는데 찾아와 주니까 얼마나 고마워요.
Porque så det skinner que no mycket rigger que vad jag ska det vara. Är det Korea? Så.
After surfing, the guys caught us sneaking off to get some of the abundantly available Western eats, and they said it was time we had tried Korea's local cuisine. I was hesitant at first, growing up hearing stories of Korea's, more diverse selection of food. But we were going to be here for a while, and your body can only survive on donuts and burgers for so long.
So we got Korean pancakes here, or Korean pizzas. We got squid and flour and veggies, and they're all being mixed together in a frying pan with some cooking oil. That's what she has sizzling over here.
What's it called?
Hajon?
That looks so good.
Yeah.
That's good.
할매다.
One thing we found difficult about traveling in Korea is that hardly anyone speaks a lick of English, and I couldn't begin to understand the street names and signs. Luckily, Matt had studied Korean before he left and helped translate for us.
The first thing you want to worry about in Korea is breaking down the communication barrier, really getting in with the language. See, in English, this would take a whole paragraph to say what they've just said in a few symbols on the wall here of the hotel. In English, this would be, place the funky picnic table on top of the other picnic table, then have the man stand next to the wall. When you're done with that, put the picnic table on top of the ball next to the smaller wall, and do all of that way with the universal arrow.
We're trying to find a market called Kuche Market, but our language isn't that great.
Gukje market. Gukje market? Shopping.
I'm always stoked to wander around in another country on the other side of the world. What do these people do all day? What is their life like? And how is it different from mine? Korea was overwhelming in a sense that's all you saw, Koreans. And after walking around all day, if you didn't look in the mirror when you got home, you'd begin to think you were Korean too. With no waves in sight, we had been closely tracking the swell reports to see what day the surf would arrive, when out of nowhere a large purple blob appeared on the screen one morning. This was a serious typhoon. 30-foot swells had formed overnight in the Pacific, letting us know we were going to be getting some pumping surf for the next week. And when we ran down the street to check the waves, it was already going off. We all felt the same way. Coming all the way to Korea for a unique surfing experience was well worth it.
backside air reverse. Oh, tube. Left is shredding. Roundhouse. Shannon has skills. Surfers are cool. That was insane.
감사합니다. 보도.
감사합니다.
보도.
번호.
보도.
번호 뭐지 번호?
뭐지? Starting to pick this stuff up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6,
6,
7,
7,
8,
8,
9,
9,
10.
10.
See like the little needle on his tail? He could probably whack you with that. And then you'd die. A Korean death.
Whoa, he tried to get me with his tail, dude.
Still amped from the first day of real waves and expecting them to get bigger and better for the next week, we all went a little nuts that night. Maybe it was the neon.
If you're into neon, you might want to come to Korea.
안녕하세요.
Matt and I are trying squid jerky right now. It seems to be the snack of choice in Korea. Doesn't go down all that easy.
Maybe we should introduce this to America and it'll just be a sensation overnight. Fathers and sons at ballparks, macking on squid in the 9th inning.
Set wave. Done like a little bit of squid jerky before surfing an empty left point break and somewhere in Korea.
Somewhere in Korea.
What was a shot in the dark had become one of the best surf trips we had ever been on. To travel in a land as beautiful and intriguing as Korea is one thing. It's another to score real waves. And this trip had become unreal. Too good to be true. But there it was, right behind a squid shack. In between swells, we had a day to recuperate and explore more of Korea.
I can't believe this is Korea. I mean, look at this. Crystal clear, warm waters, lush green headlands, empty beaches. I'm in the tropics. I'm in Tahiti right now. This is amazing.
It's been a while since we ate breakfast. We've been hanging on this pier for a little bit. I'm getting kind of hungry, and I got my eye on a couple of beauties down there.
Korea never ceased to fascinate us. From its captivating landscape, to its bizarre food, to its kind and energetic people. How could a place so cool be so little visited and understood? This trip inspired me about so many other places out there that I don't know, that I've never given thought to visit or learn about. And no one in Korea was more interesting than the Haenyeo.
These are the Haenyeo women. They're originally pearl divers, and what I thought was so fascinating about them is that they're all women, and they're just like mermaids. They're in the sea all the time collecting sea snails and octopus for food, and now there's only about 3,000 left on the island, but I think it's a really cool tradition of sea women. I think that's super cool.
I think I'm being knighted by the Haenyeo women.
Being so knowledgeable about the sea, we told them of our quest for a perfect wave. They said they did know of a certain treacherous reef where the waves get so powerful during the swells they are unable to swim out, and that it breaks for the entire length of the reef. This sounded exactly like what we were looking for. They gave us directions, and we made our way there anxious to see this wave that the Haenyeo fear.
Hey man, I grew up in North Carolina catching hurricane swells. Now I'm in South Korea catching typhoon swells, man. It's crazy.
Coming to a place like Korea for Shannon and I we just love this type of travel. We just love going to places that to us are just unknown. And we didn't know what to expect with the surf. Just to get these amazing waves was unbelievable. But really, more important than the waves were how epic the people were. And that really stuck out to me of anything in Korea. Besides being such a beautiful place, it's just like stepping into this bizarre world that ends up superseding all of your expectations that you had when you showed up. And it is so much bigger and so much more colorful than you could ever imagine, or that any photograph or that any video could ever show.